I want you to pull out your phone right now. You're not obligated to please everyone. Your boundaries are different from someone else's boundaries. Happiness is so important for longevity and for quality of life. Alright, what is up guys? Welcome to another episode of Richard Rants. Alrighty, so I wanted to do a rant about happiness. It's probably like the one thing that is kind of hard to navigate and discover more than anything. Let's get on to the rant. Alright, the first thing I have honestly is I want you to pull out your phone right now and literally look through your social media feed. You have to figure out if the things that you are scrolling is making you more happy, or is it actually making you compare yourself and it's actually spiraling a lot of negativity in your life. If the answer is just a lot of negativity and also you're just like scrolling through a lot of nonsense, you're not really retaining anything, you're probably gonna want to just delete that. I think social media is such a big part of why we honestly are very negative towards ourselves and why we actually lack a lot of happiness in our lives, because we think that someone else is living a very happy life from a bunch of highlight reels and from a lot of these videos that we scroll through, that you actually kind of lose a sense of happiness in your own life. There's actually like a 3-dot feature that, like, if you're scrolling through reels or whatever, that if you're finding that video a little bit like, I don't like this video, I don't like the content that this person's creating, and you can literally just say don't recommend this channel or don't recommend this video, and it will not pop up anymore. Even when it comes to accounts that you don't think provide any value, it's even people that you follow that could have been like friends from the past, or maybe people that you just happen to know but you're not very close to. If they're not serving you in any way, you can just get that rid of them. They're not gonna care. That social media seriously is such a powerful tool. Do not let it control you, because there are a lot of benefits that come with it that definitely help us with being aware of what's happening in the world, but at the same time it is a tool that can very much manipulate with your head. So that is one tip. The next tip I have: quality over quantity. What I mean by this is, even when it comes to the people in your life, it's kind of been repetitive a little bit. Small number of people that actually care about you and want to spend time with you and are actually willing to hear you out. You actually feel like you have to put up like a fake persona in order for them to like you. Those are not your real friends. You want people in your life that genuinely love you for you. You're not obligated to please everyone. Not everyone that you interact with is going to, be besties with you. That comes with time as well. Like, realize that there is so much time in the day. Don't waste your time trying to please other people and also trying to prove yourself to other people to get them to like you. What happens is when you're constantly trying to please other people, you end up losing yourself. And then you actually don't even know what makes you genuinely happy. So it's so important that you spend quality time with yourself, and also you don't waste the time trying to please other people or trying to prove anything, because that's not worth your time. Quality people and also the quality time that you spend. And that's that on that. The next tip I have: self-care also definitely does make you happy. At least for me, I can speak from personal experience. Whenever I take care of myself, whether it's going on a hot girl walk, doing a face mask, taking a nice relaxing shower, taking a nap, like cooking, journaling, working out, anytime I do any of those activities, I feel myself having a huge weight lifted off of my shoulders. And also I realized that like whatever that I was stressing out about actually was, I made it a much bigger deal than it actually was. When you start doing those tasks that work for you, again, it's not a one-size-fits-all. Whatever works for you and however much time you want to invest in it, you're going to rejuvenate yourself and you're going to make yourself feel better. And that honestly, at least for me, brings a smile on my face. So it's so important that you take care of yourself. Yeah, that's just a little tip right there. The next thing I wanted to kind of discuss: setting boundaries. I actually learned this from an organization I'm part of in IU, as a woman in business. Your boundaries are going to be different from someone else's boundaries. And the same way that we cut people off from our lives if they're not serving us, the same thing can happen to you. Someone may cut you out of their life because your personality may not fit into their lifestyle. It goes both ways. Your boundaries are different from someone else's boundaries. People's definition of happiness is different. There's no like one track to happiness because everyone's definition of happiness and being content, it varies from person to person. It goes a little bit back to like comparison a little bit, which I do have another rant about when it comes to dealing with comparison. You think that like that person is succeeding and that person's happy. Oh, I should do exactly what they're doing. That's what works for them and that's what they want to do in their life. Let's say like they're like doing a job that's like endless amount of hours. They're doing this, they're doing that, and guess what? Maybe they're like living the life and they're like, they have a smile on their face and they're traveling all over the world. Maybe you're someone who doesn't like to travel as much and maybe you don't like that, like what they're doing. You don't have to do what they're doing simply because like they're living their life. They're living their life. Kudos to them. But that doesn't mean that you have to do the exact same thing. So it's really about discovering what you like to do, what your interests are, and it's so important that you hold on to them. Even when people say like all this subjective stuff of like making a lot of money and how this track is gonna get you a really, really good job, this one's gonna get you a lot of good connections. It's like everyone's ideal lifestyle is different from each person. Not every single person wants to make a whole heck of a lot of money. And also like sometimes people don't realize that making a heck of a lot of money doesn't really guarantee happiness. It can definitely help, and no one's saying that money doesn't matter. But at the same time, there are people that have a lot of money and guess what? They're empty inside. They don't know like what they actually fought for. Last thing that I'll leave you guys off with is honestly something that I've heard Lily Singh talk about. Happiness is seriously the only thing worth fighting for, but it's probably the hardest thing to fight for. Why? Again, we're going back to like the whole thing that everyone feels that they are not doing enough or they're not on the right track. Happiness is so important for longevity and for quality of life. And it's so important that we fight for each other's happiness and that you fight for your own happiness. And that's honestly the moral of the story. Hope you guys enjoyed that rant. If you guys liked it, please give it a like and also subscribe for more. And I will see you guys for